Rory, thank you very much for joining us on Tech at Work. Now, if we look at Lenovo, it's a Chinese PC brand with headquarters in Beijing and the States, and
Yes.
it's got a global footprint. That said, can you give us some insight into the company's global strategy?
It's quite interesting, Natasha. The strategy is really based on the idea of protect and attack, almost like a boxer. You know, we're going to protect our core businesses, like our business in China, where we have 32% market share, and our legendary Think business and our relationship business. Protect and continue to win. At the same time, attack in the emerging markets, transaction. Right here in Africa, to win here in retail and transaction. That's the attack part of the strategy. It's quite balanced, and it works smoothly across our results.
Now, speaking of strategy and market share, it seems that you've had success on the tip of Southern Africa, and the IDC released a report at the beginning of this year, and you guys have taken the #1 spot in terms of the consumer space. Now, that's in South Africa. What's your strategy and what's your market share like on the rest of the continent?
So let's take a look at the company overall. We're at 10.2% market share worldwide, up almost 3 points over the last 2 years. We've been the fastest major growing PC company on the planet for the last 5 quarters. That's good progress. Here in South Africa, we've gotten momentum, and we've seen our market share move to 11.4%. We've seen our consumer market share go to 17.9%, and in relationship, 15.4%. We've got momentum. Customers, our partners, they see the value of the company, the innovation, and they want us to win. Next, we want to move further north. We're going to go into East and West Africa. There we have 3-4% market share. Our next goal there is 10% market share. That's where we're driving. Each region, each geography to drive to double-digit share. That makes us relevant to the customer, relevant to the business partner, and gives us momentum.
Now, Africa is quite a different continent to your Asias and US and the Europes, and every region as such has different challenges. How is Lenovo planning to tackle, issues in the East and the West up north? Because it's a very different and dynamic environment to the southern tip of South Africa and sub-Saharan.
Well, our strategy around protect and attack gives us the foundation, the base. That's how we work. That's the business model we want to implement. We want to create a strength, an engine around our relationship model, and an engine around transaction. And when we looked at Africa, we said, let's build a base in South Africa. It's a key market. It's key to the BRICS. It's obviously key to the emerging markets. And did you realize in the emerging markets, we have #1 share when you combine China, Russia, India, Africa, South America. We now are #1 PC player in all emerging markets.
In the BRICS set of countries.
We are. And what we did is let's build the base with our team here in Africa. Let's get the momentum here. Then take that same business model, the strong relationships, supporting global companies that there's an unprecedented amount of investment going into Africa right now. And so we'll support those global companies. At the same time, we'll go after the retail market, the consumer. The consumer in Africa is exploding in interest in technology. And we've got, 17.9% market share in South Africa? Let's double that up again in the rest of Africa. So build off the base, expand using both parts of the strategy, and enter each part of the market. I think it's a winning strategy. And we've seen it, Natasha, across the planet. Whether we're in South America, in Brazil, or Argentina, or in India, or Russia, they're emerging markets. We see the same phenomena. Global investment going in, large enterprises. Let's go in and support them with great products like the legendary Lenovo ThinkPad. Then we'll go in at the same time on the tax side and go after the consumer in the retail space. Build the relationship with our channel partners. Our channel partners here in South Africa, their success is our success. If they win, we'll win. And we're using that same business philosophy. Young Ching Yang, our CEO, he formed a leadership team called the Lenovo Executive Committee. In that team, we formed that strategy together. And he sees that strategy as very balanced, leverage across the planet, whether it's South Africa, Kenya, it doesn't matter. Egypt, we'll use that same business model to build a relationship with the business partners, deep and loyal, create great products, great solutions, and bring those to our customers and consumers.
Now, grabbing a customer is one thing, but keeping them is another. A big part of the technology space is aftercare service,
Sure.
parts availability, service centers. Now, in Asia, Europe, and USA, that's a norm, but in Africa, it's not that easy. How are you guys leveraging off those relationships to give your customers aftercare service?
Oh, it's the key. Every customer, for longevity, to keep a customer, it's about the quality of the product and the quality of the service you deliver. What we're doing is we had very significant global customers in Africa already. So we built distribution and support structures to support them. Now, as we enter into consumer, we can leverage off of that same base to give that kind of support. You know, the customer speaks, we need to listen. The customer says service is important. They say a valuable product with great innovation is key. I'll make the purchase, but to come back over and over, you've got to stand behind your product. Lenovo stands behind that product, and we're building that support structure first for our global and commercial customers, and now we're expanding across the consumer as we move across the continent. That's how we built the momentum here in South Africa. We saw that. We made sure that we had the backup to support that consumer expansion. 17.9%, very good number. But that's on 70% growth year to date. 70% growth on our volume in South Africa. You've got to have strong support, and you've got to have it in place.